This was my first time at Tokyo Disneyland, and I wasn't here for the rides or the lightning lanes. I wanted to see how accessible it really is when you live with chronic illness, and honestly, it surprised me. Tokyo Disneyland is a very easy subway ride from the center of Tokyo, and I nipped over one Friday afternoon just because it was glorious weather. This is the monorail station that takes you between Disneyland, DisneySea, and all the hotels, and the JR station is just a little short walk over to the left there. Right behind the monorail station is the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, great for accessibility, and to the right there is where the buses and the taxis stop. Now you can get disabled tickets for Tokyo Disney, but you need an official certification to do so. They're not that much cheaper and they don't really get you much more, so just get yourself a regular ticket. However, if you do have mobility restrictions, you might want to get a wheelchair or a mobility scooter, and here in the app you can see where they are to pick up in Disneyland. And as you scroll down, you can see the different prices to rent a regular wheelchair or a motorized scooter. And just so you have a sense of what that looks like, that's the regular wheelchair. And then a little bit further down here, we've got the motorized scooter, which does look very cool. Here we go. Here's more details. So that's that regular wheelchair again, and this is the motorized scooter. It's so cool looking and really not that much more money. And they also have battery assisted wheelchairs if someone is pushing and isn't very strong. Great options for a day at Disney. And here we are in the Penny Arcade, just like the beginning of all Disney's, and it's Halloween, which you will see there are a lot of folks dressed in cosplay and costumes. It is very cool. And the other thing to highlight, you're already noticing already, it's a very small theme park. Already you can see the castle. It's not going to be an hour's walk to get there. Even if you don't have your mobility scooter, it will be okay to get around. So I got into the park about 1:30 in the afternoon. I wasn't in any kind of rush and I wanted to get something to eat because I had come straight from working in the morning. So I found myself a little cafe over on the left here. You can see it really isn't busy at all. This is a Friday afternoon at the end of September when the park is due to close at about 6:30. I had a lovely sandwich and then I took a wander around the park. Again, you can see lots of people in fantastic costumes, which is so much fun. And then the main event of the afternoon was the 4:30 parade, and people are already camped out already to get their spots. And Japanese folks take this very seriously. They bring in those little tarpaulin mats and sit down and sit there for several hours while they're waiting for the parade. And hilariously, I didn't wind up watching it after all. By about 4:15 I was exhausted. I did a teeny bit of shopping and then I headed out in a taxi. But parades aren't really my thing, standing or sitting, trying to get a good spot. I just wanted to enjoy some of the atmosphere and some of the rides. So you can see we're up at the castle already. That was a very short walk. And then I went around the back of the castle to find myself It's a Small World. Who hasn't been on that one before? And super easy for disabilities, as you will see in a moment. So here we are, It's a Small World, and the great thing about these rides is they are zero wait time. You literally walk right on. There were some steps down to the boat. If you are using a wheelchair, they bring you in the exit and you just wait there momentarily in order to be assisted into the boat from the other side. Fascinatingly, and this is why I don't recommend trying to get a disability ticket, They don't let you cut the line if you have a disability. Now, obviously there was no line at all, but it doesn't make a difference whether you have a disability ticket. If you're in a wheelchair and you need to go in the back, you just tell the ladies out the front and they'll show you where to go. And you'll see when I take the train a little bit later, I needed to use the elevator because there were some steps up. And so I just spoke to them at the front and they showed me where to go, escorted me around and got me onto the train. All very jolly, and look at the teacups. I definitely wouldn't go on those anymore with all of our meds and the propensity for nausea, but it's fun to watch other people. So after I had done It's a Small World, I wandered to the west. We're already pretty much at the back of the park, but it was a gentle wander to the west side to Westernland, as they call it. I wanted to take the Mark Twain riverboat because you know I do love a good boat. So here we are coming into Westernland, and this is our Mark Twain riverboat. Again, it was just walk right on, no wait time at all. Now the actual boat itself does have 3 stories. You can sit on the bottom deck. I went up one deck with some stairs, and then I sat down for a while to get my heart rate down before the boat started, and then I stood up to do some filming. Now it is slightly bizarre being in the Wild West when you are in fact in downtown Tokyo, but the Japanese love it, and obviously I'm kind of somewhat familiar with American culture. The boat kind of goes around in a circle on the man-made lake at the back there, and there's various bits and pieces to look at as you go. Some may be less culturally appropriate in the US these days, but I guess to Japanese audiences, still not a problem. This here is the one place that always seems to have a line, and it is of course character greeting. When the majority of people in the park have kiddos under the age of 5, I guess you're all going to be at the character greeting. And here's the lovely train going by, which I did take a little bit later. And then you can see we've got some plastic animals. And then a bit of a Native American diorama. I'm not sure if this is still in the American parks because I haven't been to Disneyland or Disney World since I was a teenager, so 30 years now. But in Japan, no problem at all, isn't quite so un-PC. was super intrigued by these canoes because literally nobody is going on them, and I guess maybe they're kind of hidden away right at the end of the park and nobody knows where to find them. But look at all these excited staff standing around with nothing to do. Now, are these accessible? I'm not sure I could have gotten into those a couple of years ago, although I probably could now. But anyway, no wait at all. So continuing my theme of gentle rides, I figured I would also go on the train, and this is me actually exiting the train, the sideways back to get down to the elevator. But they have this fabulous setup, a bit like you see on the Japanese trains, where somebody will go through with you and let you get set up. So I just announced, well, I asked the people at the bottom of the stairs, I'm so sorry, do you have an elevator? And they explained to me that I would, in an emergency, need to be able to walk downstairs, which of course I can do. And here is the setup. So they have this special platform that comes out to the train. If you were a wheelchair user, that would be sufficient, I think. And then this fantastic carriage right at the front, which I had all to myself, and that lovely plate like you see on the regular Japanese trains that they set up for you just to walk across. So regardless of whether you are using a wheelchair, if you need to take an elevator up, which I still do, don't hesitate to ask and they will set you up for the train. Now the train is much the same as the boat in that it goes the same loop around the same lake, and you're looking at a lot of the same attractions but from the other side. Heads up, there is a bit of a strange moment where it goes through the Thunder Mountain cloud, is that what we're calling it? Where there is some dark flashing lights, which was somewhat unexpected. I wasn't quite prepared for that. Maybe it happens at other Disneys, and just because everything's in Japanese, I hadn't fully appreciated. So if you're not great with flashing lights and darkness, then the train is not for you. But there were lots of kids on the train and they were all fine, so very strange. So here we are with the Native American camp again from the other side, slightly different view. And then here we are looking back at the Mark Twain riverboats again. Yes, you're really getting a sense of how tiny the park is now. And a warning, if you don't like flashing lights and dark, now is the time to fast forward. So a little bit strange with sort of bones of dinosaurs, and then we come into some sort of dramatization of the dinosaurs that were roaming at that time. Yes, maybe this is normal, but I hadn't seen it before. So we've got a few different setups with different kinds of dinosaurs, and then I guess one that's a little bit more dramatic with flashing lights. Are they meant to be fighting each other or something? Who knows? Thankfully it was over quickly, and then we came back around into the station. After I got off the train, I was a bit hungry again, so I found myself something to eat. And then I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to walk all the way back to the beginning. And then I realized that actually I'd gone round in a circle and I was practically back at the beginning again already. So the joys of a very small theme park. This is what I got to eat, some kind of Chinese place. It called it gyoza, but it was more like a steamed bun with sausage meat inside. Very delicious. My ticket for the day was $69. I think on weekdays it's $65, so much better value than the American parks, which are over $100. I hope you found this blog useful, and if you do think about coming to Disney Tokyo, please do reach out. I can hook you up with hotels and all kinds of other fun, accessible things.